Hi there and welcome back to my channel. This is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video we're discussing Murder at Maple Grange, written by Jane Bettany. It's a cozy mystery. It's book 3 in the Violet Brewster mystery series. It's set in Derbyshire, the Derbyshire area in England. A kind of small town village setting with a lot of rural landscape, that sort of thing. I quite like this book. The mystery is good, but in this series so far, we've had 3 books so far. And so far, there hasn't been great character growth, great character development. What we saw in book 1 in characters seems to be what we get now. So I'd want more expansion in characters. I know cozy mysteries aren't always like that. A lot of cozy mysteries are just more kind of fun and a good mystery, but still fun. Some laugh out loud moments. Some are a bit more serious. Some do have character growth and depth, but a lot really don't. So that's something I'd like to see in more cozy mysteries actually. I'm just wondering about that as a subgenre of mysteries. Do we expect most cozy mysteries not to have that great character depth and growth? I am waiting for that in this series. There is some there, but not in great amounts. After 3 books, I expected more. You can read this book as a standalone. There are some links to the first 2 books, but not enough that will ruin this read for you if you not read them first. So that's quite clever, I think, in a series to make each book linked in little ways, but also as a standalone. Anyway, in this book, a protagonist, Violet, gets a call from the manager of Maple Lodge, which is like a retirement community not far away from where Violet lives. And one of the residents, Phyllis, has just died. And in book 1, Violet was interviewing Phyllis to make a movie about the history of the area. The council of the area wanted to make a movie based on memories of the people who lived there for many years. And during that time, Violet interviewed many residents of the area, including Phyllis. And Phyllis and Violet hit it off, so much so that Phyllis decided to will something to Violet. And what Violet gets in this will is this ornate jewelry box. And it's described quite well in the book. I won't describe it in the video, but it sounds quite decorative. It sounds almost, like a master craftsman type thing. Something that you won't get now. People won't make it now because it costs too much to make. But it sounds like something that's not one of a kind, but very precious. I get that impression in the book. When Violet's picking up the jewelry box from Maple Lodge, she comes across some of Phyllis's friends that were at the home. One of these women is called Maureen, and Maureen in this book is a great character, has some great moments with her. And I think with Maureen, we sometimes get more depth than the main character in the story. But anyway, Maureen tells Violet a tale. She says that Phyllis was sure somebody was trying to kill her. And Phyllis told Maureen not long ago to watch out, because Phyllis thought Maureen was next. Hope that makes sense in this video. So Maureen is scared now. She wants to find out who was after Phyllis, but she's also worried about herself. She wants Violet to help out to try to find out who's trying to harm her, or if anybody is. Violet kind of doesn't take it seriously at the start. She thinks Maureen's having fancies, She thinks Maureen's imagining this. She thinks Phyllis may be imagining as well. They're both a bit paranoid. Until somebody pushes Maureen off her balcony in her apartment at the retirement home. Luckily, Maureen lives to tell the tale, and it's quite evident someone pushed her. And because of that, Violet is now interested. Violet believes her, and Violet wants to help dig to find out the truth. That's where I'll leave the mystery in this book. The mystery does develop quite well in the story, but towards the end, the confrontation and conclusion I didn't like that much, and I'll explain a little bit of that later on. But now to the cozy side of this book, because cozy mysteries need a cozy side. You can't call it a cozy mystery if there's not. So Amelia, who's Violet's daughter, comes to stay out of the blue. Amelia broke up with her boyfriend and also was made redundant from her job. She's feeling quite low. She comes to stay. And she extends her stay because she thinks, well, while I'm here, I'll hang around a bit longer. I'll help out in a local cafe. They need somebody for a few weeks. She'll help out there. And also she starts to become friends with Violet's boyfriend's son. So that could develop into something strange in the series, I think. You have Violet dating this guy in the village. He's got a son the same age as Violet's daughter. And looks like Violet's daughter is now friendly with this guy's son. I'm not sure how that will work out in the series. I'm not sure what will happen. Be interesting to find out in future books in the series. Then we have Molly Gee, And Molly Gee is Violet's new assistant in her business. So if you don't know already, Violet runs a business where she makes videos for people, personal videos for people, or for corporations, or for local government bodies like councils. But she focuses these videos mainly on memories. When making videos for people, personal videos, she likes to make videos about their memories. She interviews them, they talk about their history, about what they've done. Then she edits that into just a clip of their memories. And they can give that to their family, loved ones, whoever. It's like a keepsake, a treasure trove of this person's life, if you will. That's what Violet does for a living in this series. Molly Gee is her assistant now, and Molly Gee is quite interesting. She loves organisation, she likes creativity, but she's also got the hots for this guy who runs a local antique store. And it seems like this guy has the hots for her as well. And it's quite obvious to Violet, but Molly Gee and this guy in the antique store, they don't realise it of each other. So Violet tries to play matchmaker in this book. That adds a bit of a cozy, warm element into this book anyway, and I quite enjoyed that. It's a bit of growth for Violet in a way. It's probably a little bit of growth for Violet, but not too much. But there's more growth in that for Molly Gee, I think, and the antique guy as well, because both of them seem to be quite shy, especially the guy who works at the antique store. There is a sub-storyline with Violet's cat Rusty. I won't tell you what that is. It is quite gripping though, so look out for that if you read this book. But now to the conclusion of this book, the final confrontation between Violet and the villain in the story. The lead up to that was quite good, but the actual confrontation was not. I found it a bit ridiculous actually. It was over the top, I couldn't really believe it. Molly is introduced as Violet's assistant in this story, and I like Molly in this book. I want her to be a bigger character. I actually want Molly to help out Violet in future cases in this series. I like to see that because Molly's all about structure and creativity. I like to see how that would work out in investigating a crime. I don't know what kind of crime Molly would be in for. Maybe not a murder mystery. Maybe something about like a treasure hunt or something like that. I think Molly would like that. And I think in this series, it needs something like that. I think Violet needs an assistant sometimes in investigations. It brings a bit more life, I think, to this series. Maureen is the elderly resident at Maple Lodge that Violet gets to befriend a bit and help out in this story. I like Maureen. She's one of those characters, and I think it's becoming a bit of a trope now in stories. Elderly characters that are very fun, very vibrant, full of life. They act younger than they actually are in a book, but you understand that and you get engaged with them because of that. So it's one of those times when an author can write a character seeming not their age, but it seems okay. Now, I don't know why that is. I really can't explain why that is. If authors write children and teenagers and make them in the story act and speak and all those things older than what they are in the book, that concerns me. I don't like that. But with these elderly characters, with their actions and dialogue, when it just seems younger than what they are in the book, it seems okay to me for some reason. I can't explain it. It doesn't make sense, does it? And it even seems maybe a bit hypocritical, but I can't explain it. It's different. It's a trope. Some people may not like it. I quite enjoy it. Dawn is the manager of Maple Lodge, the retirement community in this book. Dawn is a character that will surprise you. Dawn is a side character that is complex and has layers, and not all side characters in cozy mysteries are written like that, but Dawn is. At the start, Dawn seemed very stoic, very stern and strict, very down the line. But later on, we see how compassionate she is, how caring. Those different layers, surprising actually in the story. It surprised me when I read this book. And I think it's a great character to have in a series like this. A great character to put in a moment in Maple Lodge as well, their retirement home. So I really enjoy that character. There's great growth and development in that character. Great care in that character as well. It shows this author can write characters, so I want some of that extra care to go into the main character and other support characters in this series. Even though there are things in this book that I didn't really enjoy, overall I enjoyed this a lot. The mystery is good, there are fun moments. It feels like a proper cozy mystery, and I rate this a 3.5 out of 5. I think there's room for growth and development in this series though. I think there's room to expand on the characters we already know. I think there's room to make the mysteries a bit more tight. Even though this mystery is quite good, it's just not tight enough, and that conclusion, I didn't really enjoy that. I think we need a bit more care in how the mystery concludes in this series. Overall, a lot better than average. On my channel, I review many cozy mysteries. If you enjoy cozy mysteries, check out my channel and subscribe. On the screen now is a link to another video for a book I'm sure you'll enjoy.